you feel like something is on the brink of like pushing through almost reality. It's like bubbling up almost, and it's almost there, but it's just waiting just a little bit further for a few other things to be let go of in this void to then match the vibration of that for it to just pop through. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I am your mystical muse, your manifestation mind, your spiritual inspiration, and welcome to Mary Muse Miss, where we discuss all things to expand our consciousness and improve our lives. Let me grab my coffee. As you can tell, we are all decked out for Christmas up in this biatch. So let's dive into today's video. What does quantum shifting mean? Quantum shifting means shifting timelines. It means your reality is shifting around you and shit feels weird. What's happening, guys, is reality is reorganizing itself faster than what your brain can actually process or catch itself up to. When this happens, you'll release emotional attachments. You'll have like an identity death or an ego death, essentially. You'll stop forcing outcomes to certain things. So it's kind of like a massive surrender almost. Your nervous system stabilizes to a new baseline, which also means that your body, your physical vessel, recalibrates itself to this new reality. So you physically will be going through some changes. So one thing I want you guys to understand is you really don't force this purposely. Yes, you could do the inner work, and a lot of us are always constantly working on ourselves, but this comes from major life shifts. This comes from working constantly on yourself or something very big happening in your world to shake things up to almost to where you can't believe that something is happening. It has to shake you up so hard that it feels like life is fake, essentially, that it's almost like you just can't believe this thing has happened. It's extremely difficult for you to believe that this thing or this new identity, whatever so may be, is actually happening. So it's kind of making you disassociate almost as like a safety mechanism. It's almost the ego's way or your soul's way to kind of get you to ease into this new reality safely because of how destabilizing it is and how intimidating it is to the ego. It has to go through this process, and it can feel very scary. So it's not necessarily by choice that this happens. The soul initiates it, and you just have to trust what's going on, because it does feel very scary. And it does, I say it feels very scary, I don't want to intimidate you guys, but it does essentially feel like a death and a rebirth cycle. You don't go through this by wanting to go through this. You go through this by not being able to identify with your old life. So something in your old life has fallen away, something major. Like I said, something major has happened to where you identified so hard with something that when that thing leaves your reality, it's almost like you have to create a new identity around something. You have to recreate yourself. Neuroplasticity pathways that were formed, or this identity or this idea that you had of yourself that were from this external attachment that then fell away, broke. And now you're disassociated from reality, essentially. And now your neuroplasticity pathways, it's kind of like you're in this void period. It feels like you don't really know what's next in life, but you kind of have an idea. It's kind of like you're this in-between stage, and you don't even know who you are yet. It's not to worry, guys. This is just for a period of time, and it is a process that you go through. But it's a good thing though, guys, because it just means that you're creating a new reality, you're creating a new identity, and it's more in alignment with where your soul is supposed to go into, you know, its evolution into higher states of, I say, a conscious expansion, or just higher states of love is essentially where you're headed towards. So you had to let go of things that were not in alignment with where you are going, which is a higher vibration. And so this new higher vibration, it's going to feel very destabilizing. It's going to, like I said, your body's going to need to recalibrate around this new frequency, and it's going to be a process. So let's go into the stages of quantum leaping so you can recognize it when it happens and not think that you were going batshit crazy. Let me pause for a second, guys. You don't have to have all these symptoms, but I'm just going to go through the majority of what I've experienced and what most people experience. So, number one, time distortion. You can feel like time doesn't exist. You can feel like time speeds up. It feels like you time jump almost. It's like you miss half of your day almost, and it's like, what just happened? How did I end up here? I've had it to where it feels like you just jumped somewhere and you don't know how you got there. So it's like glitches almost. It could be where time slows down. It could feel like your days don't even feel real. It could feel like the past is so distant that it doesn't even feel like it happened, which, you know, it feels like people didn't even exist, or did the past even exist at all? Like your old reality, it doesn't feel like it even happened at all. Your internal rhythm is basically no longer matching your old timeline, is when that happens. Another symptom is detachment and forming new attachments. So when we detach from our old reality, that's when things fall away. That's when you detach from people, places, everything that you held your identity around from that old timeline. You're basically letting go of, or it fell away, or you were literally forced to let go of it. You didn't have a choice, and then you're kind of stuck in this void. But then you kind of feel like the new reality starting to build. You start to feel either new characters coming in, or maybe you already had some new characters coming in, but you start to feel what your story is going to be with these new characters, how they play a part in your life, even though it hasn't even unfolded just yet. So this could look like, you know, new relationships of like maybe a new lover coming in, and you don't exactly know why, but you feel a connection with somebody and you feel like it's more than what it is. Or it could be, you know, new opportunities coming in and it hasn't exactly hit just yet, but you feel like something is on the brink of like pushing through almost reality. It's like bubbling up almost, and it's almost there, but it's just waiting just a little bit further for a few other things to be let go of in this void, to then match the vibration of that for it to just pop through. And it's this really weird feeling, guys, of just knowing, like you just know these things are coming, but it's like, it's not, anxiety's not tied to it. It's like it's a very calm feeling that you just know it and you're not really worried about it, but it's gonna happen. So you're just kind of relaxed. You're just kind of like, whatever. It's like, it's a non-caring type of thing of like, if it happens, great, even though you're pretty sure it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't, whatever. It's kind of like, I am so disoriented right now, and I feel like I've already hit rock bottom, that I'm just kind of like, I'm here in the void. I don't even know what to do right now. So we're just doing life. And this is where I feel like the greatest blessings come in, because it's almost like you put your hands up and wave the white flag and you're just like, screw it. You know, you're just like, universe, just take me, you know, and it's just kind of just like, you start to just see and observe, and just kind of like, that's when your intuition, I truly feel like, comes online. And it's a little intimidating because of how strong the intuition comes in at this point in time, because of how disoriented you are. It's not really disorientation because of how intuitively strong you're on, but it feels disorienting because I feel like not a lot of us are this connected to our intuition and tapped in to absolutely knowing stuff without the true understanding of why we know what we do, and without certain proof of it yet, or being just so in tune with downloads, being so in tune with emotions and just like letting it guide us, or just feelings, tapping into other things, or just, being able to read people. It's just insane of how clear things are during this time, but yet at the same time, how unclear it is. It's almost like a paradox, because things haven't happened yet, but you are receiving information, a lot of it at the same time. Next is identity confusion. Surprise, surprise. When you lose your identity from an attachment falling away, a great shift, whatever, you lose a piece of you, essentially. The ego is grasping to now figure out how to replace this new energy. So you're trying to figure out who this new you is without this, attachment that you had. Who is this new person in this new reality, right? So this is kind of a cool thing as well too, guys, because when you're in this void and then this new reality, you can recreate yourself pretty I want to say freely, but if you're conscious of it, you can reprogram your mind with these neuroplasticity pathways broken, because it's easier when you're not like stuck in that same loops of energy. You've essentially broken the karmic pattern, the energetic pattern in your mind. You can choose different patterns and then reprogram yourself to the person that you would like to be. Think different thoughts, take different actions, consciously program yourself by writing down like the life you would like, read it, take actions, make plans, do stuff like that. That will help you create your new timeline. This will help you build your new identity quicker. You'll also find that people start to look physically different. People actually level up, especially if, they dropped lower level people, places, habits, whatever in their old reality. They'll probably start to look better physically, feel better. They'll have a glow up essentially, and they'll have that identity shift with this new person. Like they'll look like a totally different person and actually start acting like a totally different person. The next one is your manifestations come quicker. And this is good and bad. I say good and bad, it's whatever you want it to be. But because the energy is so intense right now, it truly, like, your thoughts are so quick, guys. It can shift from good to bad in the way that you feel. You can manifest so quickly. That goes for both ways. You have good thoughts and you want to create and things like that. You can literally create so quickly. But when your thoughts are spiraling, or if things are like bubbling up, this is where, guys, you're going to find what needs to come to the surface, because the thoughts that are on repeat, and if they're not in alignment with your new reality, if they're not of high vibration, if they feel uncomfortable, those are the things that you're going to want to start to work on to let go of, because they're not going to feel very good for you. So that's what it means when the energy starts speeding up, guys. That's when the thoughts get louder and louder, because it's just showing you, it's bringing to the surface what's there, right? It's just, that's what happens when energy increases in our body. Things start to speed up, and that includes what is going on in the mind. That voice, that narrator, all it does is read energy in the body, right? Or just, it's the antenna, it's reading energy around you, right? So when we increase or raise our vibration, it's bringing up energy stuck in the body. So that voice, whatever it's reading the thoughts, just work through whatever needs to be worked through to shift thoughts that you don't like, to let it go. It's during this time of where we're tested quicker. It's during this time of where our desires manifest quicker. So it's, like I said, a blessing and kind of a curse at the same time. It's a very weird place to be in. It's also really important to be disciplined of the mind during this time, to be disciplined of your thoughts, because what you start to think, because of how quickly stuff manifests, it can make you spiral, or it can make you manifest, essentially, for the better. So when you realize that you're spiraling, you have to figure out how to calm yourself, how to stop the thoughts. So practices like a meditative state, during this time, guys, therapy would be very great. Having a spiritual teacher, seeking help, getting into yoga, doing somatic, practices, breath work, things like that. Get into holistic practices to help you to be able to train the brain. Because literally, guys, the energy is going to be so intense in your body and in your mind, it will literally feel like you are going crazy. And this is just what happens when the body has to get used to a new level of a frequency. It will stabilize itself eventually, but you have to get through this period. Which brings me to my next one, is nervous system fluctuation, which this looks like energy ups and downs. This is like high highs with the energy being so intense and then sudden drops. The fatigue for no reason, random anxiety without any kind of explanation, the triggers, the insomnia cycles, and then you could sleep for a freaking day. Those are nervous system fluctuations. It's trying to recalibrate itself based upon your new reality. It's trying to stabilize. The body is trying to stabilize to a higher state of awareness, a new baseline of awareness, right? You've risen your vibration, so you can no longer go back to the way that you felt in your other life. You are now more heightenedly aware, and life feels very different. It feels sharper as far as like your senses are very sharper. Your intuitive abilities are coming more online. This is going to be a new reality for you, and it feels very scary at first, but it will start to feel normal after a while. This is where intuitive gifts will probably start to come online. They will heighten, they will increase. So like I said, intuition increases. You might come into some more psychic abilities that you didn't know will start to come online. So it's pretty cool, but at the same time, pretty intimidating. Number 6, emotional purging without any reason why, any story. So basically crying without a cause, random grief, which is pretty normal when you go through an ego death. It is literally like a grieving cycle. Like for myself, going through a divorce, you literally go through a grieving period, a sudden release of resentment. So that's a letting go of, grudges you were holding, realizations on, higher levels of conscious expansion. So maybe a way of a higher mind reframe is what I want to call it. So you're able to release, like grudges or some like lower level thoughts that were maybe keeping lower level energies around in your body. So it's letting go without any kind of like explanation. You just let go of energy, and you're okay. Like, maybe forgiveness. You're just okay with like forgiving somebody. Stuff like that. You're emptying your past. You're basically taking out the trash is what we've called it in Kundalini. It's like emptying your mind. Number 7, loss of tolerance for misalignment. You cannot stay basically where you feel energetically drained. What is no longer in alignment with you, you cannot stand for it to be in your reality anymore. And this shifts as you shift. So what was in alignment with your old reality, what might have been okay for you to be around at one point, is no longer okay with you. And you'll find like your interests changing. Like the people you used to hang out with, maybe you don't want to hang out with them anymore because they are no longer in alignment with your vibration. They don't feel good anymore. An example I like to give is, when I was married, a thing that my husband and I used to do was we would go to bars all the time and sit there and basically waste our life there. I no longer go to bars, like unless it's for an event. So it's not in alignment with who I am anymore. So it's just like it's a lower level frequency that I don't enjoy being around all the time. So I don't subject myself to that environment because it doesn't feel good for me, right? So it's things like that. The body is now rejecting because it's at a higher frequency what it used to tolerate. So honestly, guys, when you raise your vibration, you really can't go back, because if you start to go back, you're going to start to, I don't want to say decay, but you're going to start to lower in vibration. And when the body's used to a higher vibration and it starts to go down, that's when disease starts to happen. So it's kind of like your body establishes homeostasis around a new state of being, and that becomes your new set point that you're gonna have to basically stay at. It's nature's fail-safe of evolution, of you keep having to move forward. Most of the time, it's like whenever you take like that, what people say, you take, 5 steps forward, maybe a couple steps back. It's those couple steps back of when you feel that discomfort, you're like, oh God, yeah, that don't feel good. And then you go forward. It's nature's fail-safe to keep us moving forward. So number 8, reality feels not real. I like to call this the thinning of the veil. Reality feels dreamlike. It's just not real. The veil feels very thin. It's a heightened state of perception. It feels like you're watching your life through a movie, essentially, instead of like being in it. Honestly, guys, it truly feels like you're the observer and you're not really living your life. It's kind of like you're just going. And it feels like sometimes that you can see through reality, that reality is so fake. And it feels honestly like I want to say you're about to die. You can feel that there is no death, that the life or death is an illusion. You can see through it. If we want to talk about this on a 3D level, your awareness is just shifting faster than your environment. It's a perception recalibration, not dissociation, even though it feels like dissociation. I don't know. I call it dissociation, but they say this is normal. It doesn't feel very normal, but it is normal. Number 9, a period of isolation. Isolation before expansion. Everybody says this. Carl Jung says this. It is what the soul does to you before it expands you. It puts you in a period of isolation, the hermit phase. You have to be alone to experience yourself before God blesses you or puts you on the higher timeline of what you're meant for. It's making you get rid of external attachments to the world, external validation from the world. It's making you come into wholeness within yourself, being complete within yourself, being able to have a relationship with yourself and support yourself. Basically, coming into a relationship and union with God before you can ever really create or form relationships with other humans on the highest timeline or the highest manifestation possibly created. So it's like you have to go through this isolation phase to be able to create love with somebody. It's like you almost have to hit this rock bottom and go through pain and this isolation and then heal yourself and then understand and then kind of go through the shadow work phase by yourself, all this stuff, to then be able to hold space and love and a deeper sense of compassion and build a reality with that with other people. And then that's when you step into your highest timeline. That's when you experience God in others. And that's when you find like your highest love, your highest timeline, your highest opportunities, because you're in that frequency now. You know God, you've accepted God, you've experienced God, basically. Now, a lot of people will say like, it's creating more space for God to come in because you had to let all these things go as well too. You had to let all the energy go for new to come in, and you had to do the clearing to be able to let the highest energies come in. So it's like a process. That's what I had for you guys. The soul just knows what it's doing, and just to trust it, guys, okay? Just trust the process and the decisions that you make, because they're for a reason, and it's truly your soul led. You're being soul led, okay? So I'm sending you all my light and all my love. Satnam. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. God, now all I can smell is that incense. Let's push the Valentine's Day button. My tree, guys. I wonder what this rainbow button does. Is there a disco? Uh-oh. Oh, my gosh, guys. I need to play, like, Carol the Bells. Expecto Patronum. Luminous. I win.